Are we on? Are we on? We are live! And hello there, friend. Welcome back to Max's Writer's Life Vlogs, where I talk about my own process, as well as offering writing advice and inspiration along the way. This time around, I think this video is gonna go live on YouTube on the 1st of April, which means it's gonna be a joke video, right? No, I don't do videos like that. My videos are silly enough as it is, and they're silly all year round. That being said, what are we talking about today? Today I'm gonna go over a handful of tips that I've gathered over the years for people who want to get started, to jump into NaNoWriMo. These are, quality of life improvements that I'm going to be going over on the second part of this video. But before that, let's dive right in. How was my week? What was I up to this week? I spent it mostly writing. The funny thing about having big weeks like this for me that are just nothing but writing, like writing from my Monday to my Friday, and it's just like, it's funny because those days of nothing but writing, like I sit down, maybe I have a break in between if magic happens, if not I just write all day. And I have situations where like all those hours just vanish, so like I finished the writing for the day, and I'm like, oh, it's like 6 p.m. What happened to that day? Well, I spent it in a different world, taking note of what people were saying, but silliness out of the way, I wrote tons. I wrote a ridiculous amount. If you follow me on Tumblr or Twitter or Instagram, I share my word counts there. I share them with a little bit of advice, and I've also started sharing the songs that I wrote to. I believe that music is, at its core, one of the most important parts of my creative writing process, so I thought, you know what, let's share some more love. If you want a general feeling for the songs that I was writing to this last week, I wrote tons. I wrote tons to songs from the Nier soundtrack. That's N-I-E-R. It's a interesting game, flawed, but with one of the greatest soundtracks of all time. I also wrote to the soundtrack for the Dot Hack Sign anime, which is also really good. Man, all the tracks in that soundtrack that have lyrics to them are really good. But they're not like, they're unobtrusive lyrics, like they're in the background, they're part of the melody. Really good stuff, really good stuff. Overall though, it was a pretty fun week. It was tons of writing, tons of getting back into the groove of things, because, if you saw the last vlog, I was kind of coming in and out of things, the random encounters of life jumping at you at every corner, and, just dodging blows, rolling with the punches, the flow. It was... that sounded too... You know the flow, you know what we cool kids say. I'm not one of the cool kids, no way. But anyhow, it was really fun. I still have one more chapter to do for that particular project. I'll probably get it done like in the next couple of days, and from there on, we're walking into editing hell. Let's do this. First week of Camp NaNoWriMo, I'm gonna spend it editing. I am going to be doing writing, which reminds me, people asking, Max, you're giving Camp NaNoWriMo advice. Are you actually going to be doing Camp NaNoWriMo? Yes, I am. On every other week, because I have projects to edit and projects to write, so that's kind of how I'm going to be tackling it for the rest of April. I am taking part in Camp NaNoWriMo. Don't fret, I am going to be sharing my experiences. I may actually share the word count numbers for Camp NaNoWriMo, I guess. I don't know, we'll see. If you would like to follow my live updates as I share about writing, as well as talking about whatever I'm watching / finishing, you can follow me on Twitter. I talk about things there all the time. It's literally the easiest place to get a hold of me. But anyhow, let's dive into the main subject of today's video. Tips for people who are new to Camp NaNoWriMo, getting back into writing and looking forward to spending a month of writing. At first, I thought that I was going to be like, make assets for like this video, be like, #1. But nah, I'm too lazy. I'm too busy writing to do stuff like that. I hardly have enough time to put on a dumb sweater and shoot vlogs, so let's dive right in. #1! It's just the first draft. When you jump in to write, remember, please remember that it's just the first draft, and better than any of that, better than anything else, no one is going to see it. Nobody. Seriously, nobody in the universe that exists and will ever exist will see your first draft before you openly, decidingly so, choose to share it with them. One of the things that stops people from, jumping into the writing, like, into the zone, that moment when their words are coming to you and you're just writing them down as they come to you. Those moments when you get those crazy word counts and when you get scenes down one by one. That moment gets super stopped when people start worrying about what other people are gonna think about it. Oh man, that sentence, I wrote it, but it wasn't very good. Oh, this character said something really dumb. I bet that person that I'm romantically inclined to is gonna think that this is stupid. All of those thoughts? First off, they're only gonna slow you down. Second, that's all nonsense because no one is going to see this first draft. So please, please, please keep in mind that it's just the first draft. No one is going to see it. You hold all of the cards, all of the control. You decide when it goes up online. You decide when the world gets to see it, okay? And for the time being, you're just gonna focus on writing, okay? Okay. Number 2! It's not a race. As I mentioned in the previous video, in the previous vlog, one of the things that destroys people who want to get started in a project like this is that they get focused on the numbers, on the word count, as opposed to actually moving the story forward. You may not be aware of this or not, consciously or subconsciously rather, you are racing to get X number of words in Y number of days. And this mentality is not gonna get you anywhere. I want to inspire you to focus on the writing, on building the habit, on getting that story out of here and on the page. Yes, I know that the whole point of the challenge is to do X number of words in Y number of days, but I've had so many like writerly friends online who like jumped into this and 2 weeks in they burnt out and they stopped writing and they gave up and they haven't written in years. So what was the point of that? I keep telling people I would rather you finish this book in 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, steadily, slowly, actually finish it and get it done and get it out there, than burnt out 2 weeks in and never write ever again. As that Confucius quote goes, it doesn't matter how fast you go, as long as you never stop, okay? It's not a race. Number 3! Number 3, focus on the fun. Please, for the love of all things sacred, make the writing fun. I'm real talk right now, okay? Real talk. There are people out there who pick a story idea not because they like it, not because they actually believe in it, but because they think that writing about X or Y is gonna get them somewhere, you know? Books of this type are really popular right now. I ought to write one of those right now. And I'm not saying that sentiment is like wrong. You can do whatever you want, but I found in my personal experience that especially when you're getting back into writing, if you focus on doing something that is fun to you, something that deep down excites you, I honestly feel that makes the process a lot easier. Now, you can write whatever you want. Don't let me stop you. I'm just saying here that especially if you're getting back into writing, it's probably wiser to think of a story that excites you, that it's fun for you, no matter how silly it is, no matter how ridiculous it is, no matter how non-conformist to what is normal is. Take that idea, write it, and have fun with it. That's it. I've said it in the past a million times, I'm gonna say it again. The reader can tell when you're having fun. And you can tell when you're having fun when you're editing it. No, seriously. Ask any writer that has gone through the entire revision process. They will tell you, oh man, you can tell when you're not having fun. Oh man, you can tell when you're totally phoning it in because you have to rewrite entire scenes. Have fun, okay? Dive in, enjoy it. No apologies, no hesitation, just have fun, okay? And if you're going out there, Max, I can't write a story about X. I can't write a whole story about Y. Who told you that? Who made you believe that? Who put those words in your mouth? I mean, I did. Metaphorical person. But write whatever you want. Seriously. You're gonna spend a month, maybe more writing. You're gonna spend time revising it. You're gonna go through that entire journey. Why, oh why, would you make yourself go through that journey on a story that you don't find fun? So please. Make it fun, okay? Make it fun. Number 4! This is a rehash of last week's advice. If you want a long explanation on this, please go and check out that video. Focus on scenes and chapters, not numbers. One of the things that I made a point of saying on Twitter and Tumblr and Instagram is that whenever I post my word count, I talk about how many chapters / scenes I wrote. Why? Because focusing on word count is kind of counterproductive to telling a story, because you can write 50,000 words and not actually move the plot forward. The characters don't change, don't act, don't face any consequences to their choices. Instead, I recommend to, when you sit down to write, sit down and consider, okay, what scene am I going to write? How many scenes am I going to write? Am I going to write this entire chapter? What is going to happen, and focus on moving that forward. One of the things that you need to keep in mind is that if you focus on writing, you can go on and on and on and on and on for hundreds of thousands of words and never complete the story. But I feel that if you focus on writing chapters and scenes, like laying bricks, eventually you'll have a finished product at the end. Okay? And the last tip number 5. This is not a big, enormous tip, but this is just a quality of life improvement. Please, for the love of all things sacred, store your writing on the cloud. Please, use a software like Evernote or the Microsoft one. I don't know, I only use Evernote. Store your writing somewhere other than locally on your computer. I know that I'm telling you this and you're like, my computer would never crash. I would never get a complete hard drive failure. Don't say things like that. People have heard this story tons of times, but I'm gonna say it one more time. Back when I had a PC, one day, out of nowhere, my hard drive just died. Complete hard drive failure. The sort of thing where you can't even send the hard drive to a place to get the memory out. Entire stories, almost entire books that I hadn't backed up on Evernote were gone forever. That's terrifying. You don't want that to happen to you. Now, out of all the cloud storing things, I recommend Evernote the best, mostly because I like that it's not bound to one particular operating system. Evernote is available on basically every platform. That's why I do writing and editing on my MacBook, and then I go on my phone and do little edits or just check my notes. Then I can write on my tablet and also write on my Chromebook. Everything is linked together, one account, and it's free. So again, please, I don't mean to undersell the previous tips that I told you, but if you follow one tip, please let it be this one, because the last thing you want to do is to dedicate all of this hard work and effort into getting writing done, and then your computer is dead and all of your work is gone forever, and that's just terrifying, and I don't want anyone to go through that like I did, okay? There you have it, my top 5 tips for Camp NaNoWriMo. I hope they were helpful, and I hope that if anything I gave you another point of view. For the time being, I want to know how your week has been. Have you been having fun? Have you been writing? Are you doing Camp NaNoWriMo? But for the time being though, I want to thank you for watching, thank you for spending a little bit of your day with me, and I'll see you on the next one. Camp NaNoWriMo is here. Let's have some fun. Let's tell some stories, okay? Okay! Ugh, editing hell.